Starting today, adult adoptees born in and after 1941 will be able to send in requests for their original birth certificates. The Columbia campus is closed this evening after the college's president said a student made a threat this afternoon. I'm outside Lee Elementary School, where the process of a possible name change will soon begin. In just under a half an hour, Boone County will officially take part in National Drug Take-Back Day, a nationwide event aimed at collecting prescription medication from those who may no longer need them. Last-minute write-ins, more than 500 pages of text, and attempted amendments were all a part of the process that may result in the first change to America's tax law in decades. Despite the bill being even closer to becoming law, some Missourians still aren't sure how they feel. There's confusion on what taxes are being cut and who actually benefits. This Sunday, you'll probably be thinking about who's going to win the big game, the Eagles or the Patriots. For others, the question is anyone going to get a concussion is more likely. And many of those who attended a sports concussion seminar today have probably wondered about their own students. The residents of Moberly think the city has done a good job at getting the water flowing through everyone's tap. The biggest hurdle today was tackled.
A pro-Missouri medical marijuana group wants to find new ways to alert voters of its message. Get it on the ballot. KOMU8's Maia McDonald tells us about a combined effort tonight in Columbia between a performer and a Mid-Missouri patient.
This is Lonnie Kessler. Kessler says he's always been satisfied living the simple life.
I would say I was content with that lifestyle. It was humble, but it was working.
That is until 2007, when doctors found a tumor and Kessler's life changed forever.
I went to the eye doctor, and he did an eye exam, and it turned out I had a condition known as papilledema, which is swelling on the optic nerve. And come to find out, the swelling was, this brain tumor was pushing on my brain stem and my optic nerve.
Now, more than 10 years later, Kessler has found hope in New Approach, Missouri, and the benefits of the medical marijuana movement.
I noticed New Approach, Missouri advertising on social media that we're the campaign who was working on a constitutional amendment to provide safe and legal access to marijuana as medicine for the patients of Missouri who are in need.
Kessler now collects signatures around mid-Missouri to get the amendment on the Missouri ballot in 2018. Recently, he's found a unique candidate to help out the cause.
I started tweeting at Snoop Dogg when I realized he was going to be at the Blue Note in Columbia, Missouri on September 7th, and I was just like, wow, this guy is really, he's behind the cause. You know, he knows that there's legitimacy in marijuana and the healing properties, and wouldn't it be great if we could get him on board with the campaign?
Behind me is the Blue Note, where on Thursday night, Snoop Dogg will be taking the stage to perform to a sold-out crowd of concert goers. For Kessler, however, the rapper's arrival is more than a chance to hear a selection of his favorite artists' best hits. Others aren't so easily convinced.
It's going to tax the law enforcement community beyond what it's already doing, and enforcement efforts are just going to drain departments.
Despite views like these, Kessler urges people to have an open mind.
My diagnosis was a real wake-up call. If you want to get things done, you have to speak up. You have to let people know what's going on, where you stand, and how it can help everybody.
New Approach Missouri will continue to collect signatures until the 2018 elections. Maia McDonald, KOMU8 News, Columbia.
Kessler doesn't have tickets to tonight's concert, but still hopes to catch Snoop Dogg's attention online.
A warm bed, a hot meal, and a hug from someone who loves you. Just a regular part of life for many kids. But for some in foster care, life is a bit more difficult.
When a child comes into care, not only are they taken away from their biological family, but usually they take almost nothing with them. They may have a bag of clothes, and they're taken away from their pets, and a lot of times, if they have siblings, they're separated.
This is something Kelly Myers, Development Director for Coyote Hill Christian Children's Home, a home for neglected and abused children, is distinctly aware of every day at work.
There's over 13,000 children in foster care in Missouri, and if you just look at Boone County alone, there's over 300. That's a huge amount of children that are not with their family.
Although they're the only licensed children's home in mid-Missouri, Myers says they can only help so much.
Each home has up to 8 foster children in each home, so we're able to serve up to 32 children at any given time.
Myers says it was after adopting her daughter that her life changed.
I adopted a little girl from Ethiopia about 5 years ago, and in that process we realized that there's a huge need domestically for caring for children who are displaced from their families.
5 years later, Myers now works with Coyote Hill, and she says they are expanding to help more kids. Now, although Myers has had a positive experience with adoption and foster care, not everyone has been so lucky. I spoke to one Missouri birth mother who shared her unique opinions on the subject.
It's great when parents, when it's successful and people can be connected with a child and it works out and they all grow in a healthy way. But I will say that where there's trauma and where there's also an unnatural side to it, that many times, depending on the disposition of that person's DNA, they may or may not be a good fit for adoption.
And Myers agrees to an extent.
Not everyone can be or even should be an adoptive or foster parent, but it takes a community to care for the children. It is not just one parent's job. It's the children, I think, they're in our community and they're our responsibility, and the parents need supports and the children need supports, and so there are many, many ways that you can support foster and adoptive children.
Maia McDonald, KOMU 8 News, Harrisburg.